So today we're talking to Tom Parker, who's the North American Sales Manager for INFICON. Tom, we've talked before many times, but for somebody who has never met you before, maybe you could tell us briefly what INFICON is all about and maybe where the focus is these days.
Sure, Bob. INFICON is a gas analysis technology company. So we have different manufacturing sensors and processes where we analyze gases, both at atmosphere and under vacuum. For our new development of a product that's very interesting to the EV market, we're actually looking for the electrolyte chemistry of battery cells. So we're further expanding our gas analysis capabilities to more to serve yet another customer application.
So that really begs the question how INFICON is making that migration from the gasoline-powered vehicles over to the electric vehicles. How are you doing it?
Well, a lot of things will stay the same. I mean, even electric vehicles, even if they're all electric, they still have motor housings, they still have gearboxes, they still have air conditioning systems, they're still going to have airbag inflators. If the migration is not all electric, even in the hybrid sense, you're still going to have a smaller internal combustion engine, smaller fuel tank. I think that there's still some consumer anxiety about going all electric. I think that internal combustion engine is not dead. I think it's going to be around for quite some time. So how we're handling the migration is we're building on what we've learned in the past. For the new systems like the electric vehicle battery packs, we're using some of our experience that we've learned testing plastic fuel tanks. We're applying a lot of that knowledge to testing a plastic battery pack or sometimes aluminum battery pack. So we're able to carry over a lot of our knowledge from testing established systems like a gas tank or a transmission, applying that knowledge to now testing electric vehicle battery packs.
Let's get a little more specific about how that testing is going to work. Exactly what is it that you're making to do that?
I can definitely be more specific. What we're doing is we're introducing a tracer gas to the battery pack, and we're sampling the outside of the battery pack, maybe with a robot. And as we're sampling the outside, we're looking for leaks in the battery pack, maybe where the tray and the cover mate together, maybe electrical feed-throughs. So we're using our gas analysis technology in a very similar manner that we would with, again, a fuel tank is a good example. Now we're looking for that leakage to a battery pack with our sensors.
And once again, you don't work with just one specific OEM or battery supplier then. You'll be working for the market. You'll take anybody's challenge, right?
Of course, yeah. What we're seeing so far is most of the automakers are treating the EV development, design, and processes much like a powertrain. And typically automakers typically build and engineer their own powertrains. You know, if you look at who's building engines and transmissions, the automakers consider that a very important part of their vehicle and design. So first we're working with the automakers on the design, and if the automaker chooses to sub it out to a tier supplier, then of course we're working with those tier suppliers. But for the most part, the automakers are manufacturing the battery packs themselves.
The word, of course, what we're seeing across the industry now is a lot of consolidation and a lot of joint partnerships. Has that affected your work in any way?
You know, you bring up an interesting, a recent topic. You know, there was a big announcement a few weeks ago between two large automakers with a joint venture, and we've been working on that joint venture behind the scenes for many years. When you work with two companies, first separately, then they come together on a joint venture, often there's a difference of opinions. So company A thinks that the test should be ran this way, company B thinks the test should be ran completely different. So a lot of times when these joint ventures happen, you have to sit both parties at the table and say, okay, this is truly the best joint way to do the testing. So, people come to these partnerships and joint ventures with their own opinions based on their history. A lot of times you have to dance a delicate step to bring them to a common test.
Let's talk about autonomous driving for a second. Is there anything in that INFICON can approach or deal with as far as the testing goes?
Yeah, I can give you a recent case. I was in Florida last week at a customer that makes LiDAR equipment. And the LiDAR equipment is the vision system of the autonomous vehicle. It's housed in a box that usually rides on top of the vehicle or is streamlined in a vehicle. And this box has to be watertight to a level of ingress protection known as IP67. So working with these LiDAR companies and these other sensor devices that make autonomous vehicle driving possible, it's really interesting because they're life safety devices. If moisture gets into this LiDAR assembly, it'll fail. Some of these sensors, the other vision sensors, if the windows fog up from humidity, it's basically like throwing a sheet over your eyes. So there's a lot of opportunity in autonomous vehicle technology in these life safety sensors that are the vision of the car.
We've talked about this before, but it's I know it's very important for you, and that is attracting younger people, college graduates and so forth, who've had the great engineering experience, but now looking for a job into the industry. It's been a problem for many years, but is it improving or is it still a challenge?
I think in my world, it's still a challenge because in my business, we not only need smart engineers to consult with these projects and to work with customers, but we need people willing to travel. And if you look at my typical year prior to COVID, I was traveling around 100 nights a year in a hotel. And that's what you have to do to meet the customers and see their processes and, cover as much ground as you can. So we're still having trouble finding the right people, not just from the education side, but from the interest to do this type of work where you're going from one customer to another, doing on-site plant evaluations, working in manufacturing. It's definitely hard to find good, smart people that want to do what we need to do.
You talk about your own lifestyle here, and really, sales is a very specific kind of thing in any industry, but you're working directly with the customer. How much of that relationship with the customer becomes ideas for new products? I mean, are you then feeding back to the home office? Hey, you know what? I think we have a real good opportunity here.
I mean, what you said is exactly what we do. That is what leads our product development, is the voice of the customer. So when we're in front of the customer and we're seeing their challenges and we're helping them solve problems, often we'll take these unsolved problems back. And I'm actually a part of our product development where we'll give our development group a problem and they'll quickly go through their toolbox, or a lot of things that we have patented, we don't even have products developed for. They're just ideas and feasibilities. And when a customer problem can be matched with something that we've developed or is feasible, we marry that into a project, and that's how we do our product development, based on the voice of the customer.
Well, it's an exciting industry. There are many jobs that people have no idea that occur on a day-to-day basis. You're one of those folks. You're an unsung part of it. But thanks again for a great opportunity to talk to you. And maybe next time we talk, it won't be on Zoom, and maybe it'll be face-to-face interview. But once again, great luck, great fortunes, and we'll be looking forward to seeing this battery cell testing product out in the field.
Yep. All right, Bob. Thank you. Good to see you again.
Thank you.